Tonight, Member of Parliament for Kpandai, Mathew Nyindam, rejects court ruling annulling the 2024 parliamentary results, refuses to step down, and files a notice of appeal and a motion for stay of execution, insisting the ruling is flawed and the original results remain valid.
We believe that the petition was frivolous, but the court has decided otherwise. So we respect the decision of the court, but we strongly disagree with the judgment.
But the NDC says the decision to appeal is premature.
The judge just said our petition was upheld and that the reasoning will be given to us on Friday. You have not even seen it and you've gone to file for appeal. What are you appealing for?
We'll hear from the MPP leadership as it vows to fight the decision beyond the courts.
And if the NDC think that they can bully their way in Kpandai, they must revise their notes.
We have details of this here on Top Story, brought to you always by Telecel, connecting energies, holy insecticide spray and coil. Enjoy a holy sleep, and also by Shield Pension, trust into the future with you. This is Top Story. Now, tonight, the sitting MP for Kpandai, Mathew Nyindam, is digging in his heels after a high court internally annulled the 2024 parliamentary election results, citing serious irregularities in 41 polling stations. The court, presided over by Justice Emmanuel Plange, ruled that non-compliance with electoral regulations compromised the vote's integrity, ordering the Electoral Commission to conduct a fresh poll within 30 days. Mr. Nyindam, however, is fighting back, filing a notice of appeal and a motion for stay of execution, insisting the ruling is flawed and the original results remain valid. The petition was filed by the NDC candidate Daniel Nsala Wakbal, alleging inconsistencies in Form 84, that's the pink sheet, from 41 out of the 152 polling stations. The NDC claims the irregularities were significant enough to affect the outcome, while Nyindam's team argued the issues were minor and shouldn't invalidate the entire election. Here's a member of the NDC's legal team, Kpandai, giving a reaction to Joy News on the ruling earlier.
Now, when you say that the disturbances at the collation center, the law is clear that you either adjourn it to the next day or you can adjourn it even for but you don't relocate or redesignate the collation center without notice to the participating candidates. And then you, when you were brought to court, decide that you are going to support one side against the other, making allegations the petitioner was involved in busing hooligans to the place, come and destroy property, and also to engage in acts which were inconsistent to the election laws. When the district election officer was put in the box, he could not even point one, even his own videos, to show that indeed the petitioner had done any of those things. So clearly, our point was very simple. The failure to notify the petitioner of the relocation and redesignation of the collation center meant that clearly there was no way he could have participated in the collation and to be able to exercise his rights, which included serious irregularities which we brought to the court.
So that was a member of the NDC's legal team there, Samoa Ado. Now, the NPP has also been speaking on this particular matter. Let's listen to their lawyer who was in court, Sylvester Isang.
The evidence on the record is that there was violence at the initially designated collation center, which is Kpandai. And now, once there was violence, the EC has the right to relocate the collation center. Regulation 48 of CI 127 says that the absence of a candidate and his agent at the collation center does not invalidate the results. So if you came to court saying that there were issues with 41 police stations, what is the results of the collated figures for those police stations that were not having issues? The NDC couldn't answer this in court. And I had a section of my client that he should be bold, whatever decision that is affirmed, because we knew that was what was going to happen. So it's not even surprising at all. And so the only fight left for us is to follow the due process of the law. And that is by filing a notice of appeal. The motion for stay of execution is dated 10/30. The petitioner has been served with the process and he decided to throw it away. But that's proper service and that's even contempt of court. But all I want to say is that we have accepted the decision, we respect it, but we disagree.
Well, the member of parliament himself was in court when this particular judgment was given, has been speaking to journalists, but let's listen to counsel for the MPP MP Mathew Nyindam, and he says the party respected the authority of the court but strongly disagreed with the outcome.
Several things, and we didn't take them for granted. We believe that the petition was frivolous, but the court has decided otherwise. So we respect the decision of the court, but we strongly disagree with the judgment. And we have already shown our agreement by filing a competent notice of appeal. And we've added a motion for stay of execution. As a lawyer, if you have picked certain information that judgment will be compromised, you prepare. So you come for the judgment with a notice of appeal in your pocket. And that was exactly what I did. And I had a section of my client that he should be bold, whatever decision that is affirmed, because we knew that was what was going to happen. So it's not even surprising at all. And so the only fight left for us is to follow the due process of the law. And that is by filing a notice of appeal.
I want to put it on record that I'm still their MP. Although, like the lawyer said, we were in court. And before we came to court, I can say for sure that for about a week, we knew that things were not going to be right. Our opponents were jubilating. They were saying all manner of things in Kpandai. And they were too sure that this is the judgment they were going to get. But as law-abiding citizens, I want to put on record that, yes, we respect what the judge has said. We vehemently disagree with him. I know that I won the election with a difference of 3,734. That is a clear victory. And if you look at the pink sheets, it's on record that they've admitted that every single pink sheet was given to all the political parties. I have my 152 pink sheets. They have their 152 pink sheets. And if you put the results together, we have won the elections. For some reasons, powers that may be, they decided to come to courts and knowing very well that maybe they'll be able to use the state's powers to overturn certain things. But I think that we are in a country that is governed by laws.
Well, so you had the Mathew Nyindam, the MP for Kpandai, who says he's still the member of parliament for the people of the area. And then again, the fact that they respect the court's decision, but they disagree, and that's how come that they filed that particular petition. He says that he has the full 152 pink sheet with him, and he believes the NDC also has theirs. But, looking at what has happened in court, he says they believe that they could use the case. But that's his point of view there. We'll get into details of the particular matter by speaking to a lawyer to help us understand. But we've also secured copies of the notice of appeal filed by the MP of the area, Mathew Nyindam, and we will be bringing you details of this particular notice of appeal. Papani actually joins me in studio with some details. But walk us through details of the notice of appeal and a motion for the stay of execution filed by Mathew Nyindam.
Well, Bray, so let's start with the reasons this applicant is given for the appeal in the first place. It says that the judgment he believes is against the weight of evidence abducted at the trial. Again, the learned trial judge erred in law in his ruling on the motion filed by second defendant to dismiss the petition dated 26th May of day of March 2025, when he ordered the petition to be proceeded with, whereas the notice of discontinuance filed by the petitioner did not reserve any right of the petitioner to reapply, which decision is contrary to decided decisions of the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, with which bind the trial High Court judge. It goes on to say that further grounds of appeal might be filed with the leave of court upon the receipt of this. What reliefs are they seeking? To set aside the ruling and judgment of the trial High Court Commercial Division in Tamale, delivered by His Lordship Justice Emmanuel Plange Brew, today's date. Not of today's date, but dated 26th March 2025, day of whose ruling was delivered today, as we know, Kojo. So these are the reasons that the applicant is giving to the court to, one of a sort, set aside the ruling from today's case, and also to grant them an injunction on the application of from the other parties listed with the power to go ahead and enforce this, to hold on with that decision whilst they deal with this particular case in the court brace.
Grateful to you, Papani, actually there. But there have been reactions from the leadership of both the NDC and the NPP. Director of Elections and Research for the New Patriotic Party, Evans Nimakun, vows to fight the decision beyond the courts.
Definitely, this cannot be a ruling that you expect that the New Patriotic Party will say it's a welcoming decision from a competent court of jurisdiction. For me, this is a dangerous ruling. The intent is to erode all the political and democratic gains we've made as a country. A petitioner comes to court with a plea that in 41 polling stations out of 152, there have been some infractions. And you then give the ruling that, assuming or that admitting that, yes, the 41, there were issues. 111 of them where there were no issues. The New Patriotic Party should admit that we go back to these polling stations and conduct another elections. What kind of dangerous ruling is this? What do they seek to achieve? It's the constituency that the party won with almost 4,000 difference, 53.47% of parliamentary votes, and you are telling me that you, the judge, will go beyond the plea of the petitioner. I don't think this is the way to go. And if the NDC think that they can bully their way in Kpandai, they must revise their notes. I've heard the young man, Rashid Tanko, speaking all over. This is not an ordinary issue. The New Patriotic Party has been very law-abiding. We will continue to respect decisions of the court. But you know, this is a petition and it will not end here. Parliamentary resource petition terminates at the Court of Appeal. There are issues we've raised. In fact, the lawyers have filed stay. We are going to go beyond this. And so we'll see how it plays out.
Evans Nimakun there. Let's now listen to Deputy Director of Elections for the NDC, Tanko Rashid Computer, who says the decision by the party to file notice of appeal is premature.
No, when we filed the petition against them, he's talking about 41. Yes, these 41 issues that were raised in December when we started the process, we were telling them that the collation was not properly done. And today, I mentioned to you, when the judge was, we cross-examined the defendants over, and the second respondent happens to be the Electoral Commission. We pointed out to him, could he show us the form of which he did the collation, which is the Form 1C? None. He didn't have it. He didn't just have it. So on what basis did he arrive at Form 1D, the summary sheet? Where did he get it from? If not a crooked electoral officer, how can you collate a resource? You don't have a collation form. The collation form is the aggregation of all the polling stations. The 152 should appear on that form. Then the summaries will now be taken to the Form 1D, of which you use it to declare. They don't have it. Nothing of that sort was happening. And you call this one elections? I'm not surprised MPP, that's how they do elections. You remember the episode of 2020? They did similar thing in Zabzugu. They just brought themselves to Tamale and declared themselves winners. That has been their modus operandi. But this time, we stood firm and said, no way, we'll accept this. And I'm not surprised the judge ruled. And in any case, my brother, they've spoken about, they've gone for appeal and state execution. Have they even gone to look at the reasoning behind the ruling? The judge just said our petition was upheld and that the reasoning will be given to us on Friday. You have not even seen it, and you've gone to file for appeal. What are you appealing for?
This is Top Story brought to you by Telecel, holding insecticide spray and coil, and also by Shield Pension Trust. Let's now bring in the political parties and find some more on this particular matter. Grateful to you, Evans Nimako, Director of Research and Elections of the MPP. Now, you say you will go beyond this decision by the court. What exactly is that? What do you mean when you say you go beyond the decision by the court?
Well, thank you. I think you heard the lawyer, and he said it right. The genesis of this whole parliamentary resource petition was triggered by NDC parliamentary candidates who lost the elections in the constituency. The issue has to do with some infractions, according to them, in 41 polling stations out of the 152. And strangely, a judge of a high court will give a ruling that has nullified the results as gazetted by the EC and directing that a new election be conducted for the 152 polling stations. This is ridiculous. It's dangerous for our democracy and must not be allowed to stand. We will challenge it. We will not accept it. It should not just lie in his mouth that having looked at the petition from a petitioner in 41 polling stations, as a judge, I'm extending it to all the 152 polling stations. Where, and why? I've said earlier to your colleagues, and I pointed out that this same returning officer declared presidential results for the constituency and gave copies to agents of parties. And in the presidential results, and I'm challenging your station, the New Patriotic Party won. Our candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, had more votes than Mr. John Dramani Mahama, the president. In the course of the coalition for the parliamentary, as usual of the NDC, they attacked the coalition center. Advice given by the Election Security Task Force, the return officer came to the regional capital and declared the results, which has been gazetted by the EC. And you are here today saying that you sit in your court and you've nullified the results and you want the New Patriotic Party to accept it.
Okay.
You will challenge it, as I've said, and the lawyer has already mentioned it to you.
So when you say challenge beyond the courts, what exactly do you intend to do?
I say we will challenge this decision at the court of law.
Okay, all right. I'm grateful. Do stay with me. Let me bring in Tanko Rashid Computer, who is the Deputy National Director of Elections and IT, NDC. Grateful to you for joining. Now, doesn't the NPP have a point when they say if there are issues in 41 polling stations, why then extend it to cover the entire 152 polling stations of the constituency?
My brother, let me say good evening to you and my colleague Evans. You see, MPP should be dismissed completely. They have no case. They've lost the matter in court, and they cannot win it in the public court of justice. They've lost it in the proper court, which was properly constituted, and they have been cross-examined since December up to now.
Which they have appealed. But I'm asking, the challenge was for 41 polling stations. Isn't that so?
No, that's where they are getting it wrong.
Okay.
The 41 was just exhibits that we brought to let them know that the election was not properly conducted in the constituency, especially the parliamentary election. It was not properly collated because you collate parliamentary results based on CI 127, Regulation 43, 1, A up to H. That's where you collate the results of parliamentary results. So if you are an officer given the writ of election, return to go and conduct election as a returning officer, you are bound by this regulation 43 to do the collation of the parliamentary results. If you don't do this, the results will be nullified by the court of competent jurisdiction, like what happened today.
So are you saying you had issues with all the polling stations?
Of course, because it was not properly collated. That is the point we are raising. When we finished the collation of the presidential result, we won there. You see, my good brother, he wanted to rig the presidential election this afternoon. We caught him. This night he's repeating it. Your officers went into the archives, look at the gazetted results, and President John Dramani Mahama won Kpandai presidential election. And he's continuing rigging the election on air. We won the presidential. Then when it came to the parliamentary, when they realized that the NDC was going to win the election, they refused to do proper collation and ran to Tamale and did their own thing. They were not smart enough to even use the proper forms.
Are you saying that there were no challenges at the coalition center, the original coalition center, before they went to Tamale to do the coalition?
At all. The process started, it wasn't at the same place they collated the presidential results. It was the same coalition center. It was when we started challenging them, the type of results they were bringing for the parliamentary coalition, the type of figures they were trying to chain out there. Then that was why they realized that the NDC was up to tax. And they knew that if they were going to continue with that process, they were going to lose. They quickly ran away. They ran to Tamale without informing the NDC.
Okay. So what you've just told us tonight is that your original petition was challenging not 41 polling station results, but the entire 152 results of Kpandai, right?
I'm saying that we send the 41 as exhibit, as example of the wrong collation of results in the constituency.
I get it, but I'm asking, was your challenge or your petition to challenge the 41 or the entire parliamentary results of Kpandai?
Our challenge was the wrong declaration of Nyindam as the winner of parliamentary election conducted in Kpandai. That was our challenge. And that it should be nullified. He was not properly elected.
And if you say he was not properly elected, what were your grounds?
Our grounds is what we have just exhibited.
41.
That the collation was not done. Collation was not done properly. You didn't use the Form 1C, which is where you are supposed to do the collation. And we showed example of 41 results of similar problems.
So if you had issues with the entire election, why didn't you show cause for more than 41 polling stations?
No, what we are saying is that when you are going into that, you are not coming to look at all the 152. The issue was to show exhibits of portion of what happened. And we clearly demonstrated that. Because if they had produced the Form 1C, covering all the 152, indicating that this was what was collated, and this is the results, the summary sheet of this, we wouldn't have problems. But they couldn't even adduce any evidence whatsoever. The man was cross-examined. The officer who conducted, the first respondent, electoral commission, they were cross-examined vigorously by our lawyers.
Okay.
And they couldn't.
I'm grateful. Stay with me. Let me bring in Justice Abdullah. He is a private legal practitioner. Kindly help us appreciate this. Now, the argument of the MPP is, why bring evidence for 41 polling stations? But the judge then extends to say, I'm annulling the entire vote of the constituency. The NDC also say, we had an issue with the coalition itself, and that's why we tendered in 41. Help us understand. I mean, how can we, be educated to understand that the argument of the NDC holds and that of the MPP doesn't. Hello, can you unmute so we can hear you, sir?
Sorry.
Great,
Thank you.
great.
Thank you. I think we may probably have to go beyond MPP or NDC.
Okay. All right.
Look at the issues from purely evidential perspective.
Okay.
Even if there was one pink sheet, and that one pink sheet is capable of, the basis of which is capable of tilting the balance in favor of one person, that would be sufficient for a judge to annul the entirety of the results. So it is the significance that the evidence brings to the table that determines whether the entire election would have to be held all over again, or it would be so minimal that even though proven, but it would not be capable of changing the outcome of the results. This would then be the basis for any decision maker in the person of the judge to determine whether to annul the election or to say that, yes, I affirm the anomalies you complain about. However, those notwithstanding, the declared victor of the election will still be the MP because it is not enough to tilt the balance in your favor. This is how a judge sitting on a matter like this makes a decision.
Now that the NNP has filed a stay of execution, it means he's still the member of parliament until the determination of that stay, right?
Absolutely. So I have, earlier this morning, I cautioned that all forms of jubilation should be, if you like, put on hold or at least be measured, because it is not a done deal. There are a lot of rooms that are available to the loser, and those rooms could be enough to tilt the balance in favor of the loser. And so if you're jubilating, it is good to jubilate at this point, but also remember that because this person, the loser, has a right of appeal, i.e. the MPP has a right of appeal, that appeal could be sustained. But granted that it is not, if the processes to remove the MP from office, i.e. the execution processes, are not a walk in the park. They are such a lengthy process and sometimes very cumbersome. And so if those thinking that the MP will be removed from office within the next 30 days may have to be measured in their thoughts, because it doesn't work that way. Executing the judgment of the court could take us up to next year or thereabout. It is right that the judge has made a decision that within a month the by-election should be held. But I can guarantee you that based on the rooms available to the loser, this could take us to the next 3-4 months if he decides to explore them.
And once he has explored one, it means that we should be expecting that this 3-4 months will definitely come.
It could even be more.
All right.
Because I don't think anybody would simply just walk away, having been a member of parliament for almost a year. You simply just throw in the towel and walk. I don't expect that to happen.
I'm grateful to you, Justice Abdullah. He is a private legal practitioner. We have to end it here. I'm grateful to you, Evans Nimako, a Director of Research and Elections of the MPP, and Tanko Rashid Computer, Deputy National Director of the Elections and IT of the NDC. This has been Top Story. Up next is Newsnight.
Tonight on News Night, lawyer Martin Kpebu and Office of Special Prosecutor clash over conflict of interest and corruption allegations.
As for freedom of speech, everybody has it. So when he talks about incompetence, he himself, what is the competence? We must separate the head of the agency from the agency. People think that the office is all about Honorable Kisi Ejapin. No.
Plus, the IMF's verdict on the OSP, as it says, OSP has no clear, consistent systems to decide when cases are ready for court. We hear from the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Also tonight, lecture halls in colleges across the country empty as members of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana begin an indefinite strike, citing the government's failure to fully implement the National Labour Commission's arbitral award issued in May.
It is very disturbing. We are worried. We will all receive the communique this morning. So if nothing positive happens this week, we advise our members to rather go back homes and wait until the whole issues or the strike is called off.
Also tonight, government gives its surest assurance yet of ending the 2 long years to ratify Ghana's first lithium project before Parliament rises for the Christmas break.
The direct benefits to someone like me who hawks in traffic is that some of the lithium project workers will need food and they will come and buy my
stumbling block. Unless something unforeseen happens, I don't see why we should not be able to.
All things being equal,
all things because I expect that it will be ratified. It will be ratified. Yeah, it will be ratified. If the process are currently ongoing and Parliament has its own timetable and schedule, as far as I know, there is no major stumbling block.
In business, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiame says the economy has been decisively turned around based on current data.
And in sports, Ghana Football Association charges Asante Kotoko for insightful social media comment.
I'll take your views and comments across our social media platforms. The WhatsApp number in particular is 055-1111-997. Details after this.
I beg, fix me go betete Ghana. No gari, no oil, no plantain, just beans then eggs.
Hey, brah, that be dangerous combination, no.
Problem no day. I feel handle am.
For Telecel, with the Bob say everybody gets what they like. That be why Made For Me bundles day. Based on your usage, if you get your own data and call packages, falla! Made For Me bundles like the way you want them. That *530#, then buy Made For Me bundles today.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. Yeah, I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, I sleep.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Ghana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
No matter the ride you love to steer, be it a truck, bus, private car, trotro, tricycles, or even generators and heavy-duty plans, it deserves Solnox Eco first. Solnox Eco works with both petrol and diesel, keeps your engine running smooth, improves fuel economy, and repairs are less, gives better performance and nothing less. Solnox Eco protects your car while keeping the environment clean. Plus, it's super affordable. When you hear Solnox Eco Advanced Fuel Conditioner, it's to drive more and spend less. Solnox first, fuel after, that's the magic to move. Cleaner engines, better mileage, fewer repairs. For bulk purchase, contact Nationwide Technologies on 025 611 7589 or 025 611 7588. Solnox Eco. Drive more, spend less.
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244-644048. I repeat, or call 0244-644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
No matter where we are, Africa always calls us home. And here in Ghana, the call is clear: to power growth and create lasting impact. At Stanbic Corporate and Investment Banking, we are creating giants and connecting businesses. From financing bold energy projects to enabling cleaner, reliable power for industries, we are fueling Ghana's transformation. With our support, Gensa Energy is delivering sustainable energy that powers Goldfields operations, helping them move closer to cleaner, greener mining. This is a story of how we bring businesses together, create jobs, empower communities, and invest in the next generation. Stanbic Bank, delivering sustainable growth, creating impact. To learn more, visit stanbicbank.com.gh.
And you're still live here on News 90s on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, the office of the special prosecutor has clashed with renowned lawyer Martin Kpandai as he accused the special prosecutor Kise Jabeng of corruption and conflict of interest in a public Q&A session on X hosted by the OSP's Director of Strategy, Research and Communications, Sami Dako. He clarified that the law mandates the office to investigate corruption related complaints, regardless of who is involved. He explained that the lawyer Martin Kpandai's allegations directly accused the OSP of conniving with former Finance Minister Kenneth Fariata to stall his prosecution and further accuse the special prosecutor personally of corruption. Now, this has further pitched the two, that is the special prosecutor, his office, and Martin Kpandai pitched the two against each other. After the special prosecutor's office claimed that Martin Kpandai has refused to honor an invitation to show up at his offices to aid further investigations. Well, we've been hearing the last few minutes from Martin Kpandai, who is categorically disputing those claims. But first, I will bring you the back and forth about this matter pretty shortly. But first, listen to Mensah South MP Boafo, who first raised issues of conflict of interest with the office investigating itself on the same matter on PM Express.
Firstly, I would disagree on many fronts with my brother. Okay. The OSP cannot investigate himself. The SP, that is the special prosecutor, he's the head of the OSP. And so if you have allegations against him, the forum to resolve those allegations certainly would not be the office of the OSP. And tactically it's even not good, because presenting those evidence to him, right, by submitting yourself to him, you are submitting it to his jurisdiction, you are agreeing that he should resolve those matters. What if at the end of the day, he rubbishes every allegation you have made? You wouldn't have gotten justice. But that said, even if you scrutinize what my brother is saying, I don't think that there's sufficient evidence on the basis of what he's saying to remove the special prosecutor, unless you want to do the Tokonu kind of removal. Right. Otherwise, there's no basis.
Well, but the Director of Strategy, Research and Communications at the OSP, Sami Dako, stresses that Mr. Ejipon himself, as the special prosecutor, has no involvement in investigative processes or the committee set up to examine the matter.
We are a law enforcement agency and a prosecutorial body, bound by law to do our work. We are to investigate as a primary investigator of corruption and corruption-related offences in Ghana. The office is not investigating any other matter except corruption allegation. He said that the office has connived with Kenneth Fariata, not that he has deduced, not that he thinks if you put one or two together. He made categorical statement. And he made specific allegation that the special prosecutor is corrupt and things that he had done. And once we are the body that has to investigate corruption, naturally, to build trust and credibility in the system, we would invite you. The office will go into it. Now, when the office is going to it, we must separate the head of the agency from the agency. People think that the office is all about, say, Honorable Kisi Ejapin. No. It's a whole institution. There was this propaganda that had gone on, and especially his first appearance, he had said several things which were untrue, but the office thought it was not necessary. Don't give it too much attention, ignore it, and so we decided not to even respond to it. But the office, if he would tell you, when he went there, he didn't see Kisi Ejapin as part of the process. Even the letter inviting him, it was not signed by Kisi Ejapin, nor even the deputy. So there is nothing like Kisi Ejapin involved in this process. It's a special team that has been set up to go into allegations of corruption. And some people have said that it will mean being a judge in your own court. And I'm like, let me give you a typical example. So someone makes allegations against the Vice Chancellor of University of Ghana. You think that they will go and call UPSA to come and sit down and go into it? Allegations have been made in the fire service against the head of the fire service. They will go and call immigration to come and look into it. No, the institution with the primary duty would have to go into it because they are not the final determinant of the facts that they will bring out. If the OSP was the one going to pronounce guilt and all that, then we would understand the issue about conflict and all that. Yes, it is true that it's the head that the allegation has been made against, but it's also true that it's not the head that is doing the investigation.
Well, the Office of the Special Prosecutor is also brushing off accusations of incompetence from Martin Kpandai. In another response, the OSP spokesperson, Samid Dako, says the office is unperturbed, arguing that Martin lacks the moral grounds to question the competence of the office.
And this is a matter that we shied away to want to talk about it because you also don't want to give people too much attention when they don't really need it. As for freedom of speech, everybody has it. So when he talks about incompetence, it's not a subject that will even bother anyone at the Office of the Special Prosecutor because he himself, what is the competence? You remember he's had the opportunity to work on ORA and all that, and we have seen the outcome that said that half of the things were just rumors and all that. So, to be honest with you, incompetence has never been a reason why the OSP would invite Martin Kpandai. The office is not investigating any other matter except corruption allegation. It's when he came and raised specific allegations that he did not want a particular investigator to be part of it. The OSP obliged him and invited him to come, I think on Friday. Even on Friday, he did not pick his calls. The whole of Friday, Mr. Kpandai did not pick his call, although messages have been gone to him and he had picked and said and talked undertone that he was at a program. They called him almost 15 times on Friday. He didn't show up. And now a new invite has gone to him to report on Tuesday. So what matters is the due process. We are giving him all the chance to be able to convince Ghanaians that the special prosecutor is corrupt as he is alleged, to show Ghanaians that indeed, the special prosecutor of the office has connived with Mr. Furiata for him not to come together. That's all the office is doing. So at the end of the day, there is clarity.
Well, also on the special prosecutor and other anti-corruption agencies in Ghana today, the IMF has a report out that I will be detailing for you pretty shortly. But I've just been joined on the line by Samid Dako. You just heard the Director, Strategy Research and Communications at the OSP. Joins us on the line. Samid, thanks for your time here on Newsnight.
Yes, Evans, thank you very much. But let me make a little clarity. I know that you said yesterday the OSP did a second Q&A session on X Space, formerly Twitter. So we are a public agency that engages the public, I think twice a year, where we allow people to ask us questions. So everything you have played is because someone asked us a question about Mr. Kpandai. As we have said, ordinarily, this is not a subject we even think or talk about. But because someone in the audience asked us a specific question that we are investigating Mr. Kpandai because he said the SP is incompetent. And I had only clarified that if it was incompetence tag, then there was no need for the office to go into the matter. So the only reason why the office is going to the matter, it has nothing to do with his public commentary on incompetence, but it has everything to do with allegations of corruption, which falls under the OSP. So I just wanted to make that clear so that it doesn't appear as if the office was responding to Martin Pebu. No, it was out of a Q&A session on Twitter that someone asked that question that we needed to clarify.
In that clip we just played from the exchange, you made a point that last week you tried to reach him several times, he didn't show, and that you sent another invitation. Have you heard from him since?
I don't know. I've not found out about it. Like I said, this is not a matter that we should make it topical for Ghanaians. This is exactly what he wanted. The office is not going to give him that. The office is focused on its work, and the work of the office is always to investigate allegations of corruption, be it against a member of the office or against a member outside the office. That's our primary duty. And when we do that, it does not mean we are judges in our own cause. It simply means that we have the mandate to do that. When allegations are made against police officers, it's the police that investigated, even if it's against the IGP. Because at the end of the day, they are not the ones that are going to determine the final case. If it so happens that he's able to substantiate and again, let's be clear, Ghanaians, we are not looking into his wild talk about whether the OSP is incompetent, he must resign. That's not what the OSP is interested in. The OSP is only interested in allegations of corruption. And those ones are why a special team is looking into it. And like we said, there were several things he said. Even when he came to the office, I'm told at the reception, when you go to any institution, even I was at Joy last week, when you come there, the reception may ask you, how many are you? So I'm told at the reception, they asked him, how many are they? And he said he had come with 2 people. And then he goes and say on TV3, and a lot of his enablers were running around saying that OSP had questioned him. In fact, they even said Kisi had questioned him about how many lawyers he's bringing there. And I thought that this is so low blow. How do you even do that as a lawyer? Anywhere you go, they will give you the opportunity and ask you, oh, how many people are you coming with? Because remember, at the reception, they don't know anything we are doing inside the office. They only are to take care of visitors. So if they ask you how many people you are coming with, then you go and say the OSP were questioning you about how many lawyers you are coming with and trying to make this work. That's why I said that let's not give that too much attention to this. Let's rather focus on the very important job of ensuring that, you see, the bad guys enjoy all this and they promote all this because at the end of the day, they are the ones who are going to enjoy. Once you have anti-corruption body having to also deal with a lot of unnecessary matters in the public domain and then distraction, attention taking off, that's what the bad guys want. And I'm sure they are happy wherever they are. And so let's focus on the real job, Evans.
Thankfully, we can bring in Martin Kpandai just to clarify the subject of when he is going to submit himself again to the OSP to finalize the investigations that were started, I believe, last week. Martin, as is being said, the invitation went out to you last week. You didn't show, is what the OSP says. A second invitation has come to you. Have you received the second invitation, and when will you avail yourself?
Yeah, Evans. Hello?
Martin, I hear you.
Yeah. The next invitation is tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m., and I'll be there.
And why did you not show up when you were invited last week?
So ask Sami Dako whether the invitation got through to me, like if I understood. So you see, there are a number of things he said which are false. Look, let's even start. Number one, he said I had said that Kisi Ejabe asked me or sought to limit me to one lawyer. Where did I say so? Just ask him to produce the tape. I don't want to say anything beyond that. Number two, he says, I enjoyed this. You see, I enjoyed this. He should tell me where and when I told him that I enjoyed this media. You see, I even sought to hide the invitation because I thought it was unnecessary because the letter is very clear that I'm not under any investigation. I'm not under any investigation. They said they need more material. So that information that I'm going to OSP is something that I leaked. I mean, I didn't use, have you seen the invitation out in the media? So for Sami Daku to say I enjoyed this, I think he should produce further and better particulars. You see, earlier on, he was saying that when I said the Kisi Jabe is corrupt, I didn't use the word I'm deducing, I'm inferring. Just today, you see, he said what? I'm enjoying this. Then number two, he said that I said Kisi Jabe limited me to. You see, he didn't put guardrails in to show that he's not making categorical statements. So that's how speech is. That's just it. See, he will fall by his own sword. Now, let's go to the invitation. That tells the invitation. He says 15 calls. I'm bearing Sami Jemfi. This number, Evans, I'm talking to you on. This is a Zoom call. But, Jonathan, you have my number, the 024 number. You can apply. I'm giving you consent. Then they should mark. They should give you the OSP officer who called. They should give you that number. So that you go to MTN. Check whether there were any 15 calls. How? If you made 15 calls, there was no way I would not have returned that call as the most urgent one. Because 15 calls means that, hey, there's absolute danger. So stop everything. 15 calls, that's what it would have meant. So it's a palpable falsehood. Sami Daku should produce evidence that they called 15 times and I ignored. And like he said, you see, he even said that I responded to one of the calls and said, what? I'm in a meeting. You see? Meanwhile, earlier on, I had heard he said, what, 15 calls, I didn't pick up. But I see he said that I'm in a meeting. So if I'm in a meeting and yours is not that urgent, it means I will attend to it later on. And our next point is that, so if they thought it was really urgent, Evans, I'm telling you, Sami Daku and I are at least maybe acquaintances. We exchange a lot of WhatsApp on various matters concerning OSP. Yet when they needed me, they sent somebody with a strange number. So this number calls me. I'm in a meeting, as Sami Daku himself has said, I'm in a meeting. So I'll get back to you later. If after the meeting I forget and I'm not able to get back, based on the fact that Sami Daku and I exchange WhatsApp messages, etc., the most sensible thing would have been for him to send me a WhatsApp message, because I can tell you that if we do analysis of our WhatsApp messages, over 80%, I come back to Sami Daku in less than 1.5 hours. Over 80%. So common sense would have told him that, look, okay, this number we've used is a string number. So even when he's done with his meeting, chances that he will return this call will be less. So then why don't I send Martin the message? Why don't I send Martin the message? They say for Kisi Jabe. So why would you come? And you know, even that message, it was after he had come on air and said this things against me yesterday that I went to check on my phone. Then I saw a text message. It was God the man. I'm telling you truthfully that it was yesterday night after his message, the allegations that they had called 15 times and I didn't respond. That's when I said, no, let me check my phone before responding on Facebook. So I checked, and then I saw that there was a text message that the person said, I'd called several times. Now, which kind of English language does Sami Daku speak that several is equal to 15? Which grammar? What grammar did Sami Daku learn that several calls is equal to 15? What kind of grammar is this? So, Evans, it tells you once again their incompetence. You, Sami Daku, you have my number. You've been dealing with me for years. If you are looking for me urgently, your office has used a strange line. You don't know that the most sensible thing to do is that you say, oh no, Martin knows my number. So give me the information. I would also send it to him. He never did. And that's the same thing they did and Ofuriata left. So you see that he's reinforcing their incompetence. Sami Daku, by this very interview, is reinforcing the very incompetence that they sat down and saw Ofuriata leave and couldn't blow the whistle to the Ghanaian people.
Martin, those are subject of the committee work, because one of the accusations you made is incompetence, etc. So I'll leave it for when you go before them. But let me ask you more substantively. You say tomorrow you would attend to the OSP. The fundamental question, and Sami had clarified this quite extensively on X, that the special prosecutor himself has, to use my own words, recused himself from this committee work because he himself didn't sign the letter. He's nowhere near the committee work, but others have suggested that the office itself cannot be a judge in his own cause. You still going to submit yourself to the process? are you satisfied with the Sami's explanation that the special prosecutor asking Kisi Ejabe has nothing to do with the
you
process?
see, strong man argument. Where did he hear me saying that Kisi Ejabin came there? You see, where? That's all that I'll say. Where he should produce the tape. Me, he should just produce the tape. I don't need any further answer on that.
But you're
He should
happy.
produce the tape.
But you're happy to work with the committee. That day.
I don't know the committee, so when I get there, we'll find out who is there.
Are you
I don't know who. The letter doesn't indicate.
But you cooperate with the office.
Oh, definitely that one. I'd give him my word that as a citizen, if the committee is right, why not? I'm sure of what I'm saying. I'll give them what I have. Let's be very clear. I'm not the subject of any investigations. No, they say they just need further and better particulars of what I've said. They are not investigating me. No. So why would I shy away? No, we want to build strong public institutions. So if they need further information, why not? Why would I be running away? There's no case against me. It's what I've said that they say, look, bring us further information. Let's see what we can do. Many people have said, no, they shouldn't do the investigations, etc., because I've accused them, etc. But I just looked at it and said, well, they say they just need further and better particulars. That's why I just said, okay, look, I'll go there. Ordinarily, we should be going to the Attorney General because it's only the Attorney General the Constitution knows. OSP does this work, prosecution, etc., subject to the authorization of the Attorney General. OSP is not known to the Constitution. It's the Attorney General's power. So, properly speaking, we should be going to their boss, the Attorney General. But, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay. Thank you very much, Martin. And I still have Sami on the line. Sami, if you have any response to that, fine. If not, I want to go to the substantive matter of what the IMF had said today about the anti-corruption institutions.
Yes, Evans, I'm so happy you said you have to move on to the substantive issue. Just to help with this, the SP does not take part in investigations, just to help you and maybe your listeners. So it's a whole office. The SP is the head. So just like when police or EUCU or National does its work and submit it to the AG, it's the same thing. The office has divisions. They work, and then the final one will be submitted to the SP to review, especially if it has to go for prosecution. So just to clarify that, so we can move on because they are.
And yes, to that point though, and our research team looked to that document that was published by the IMF. The head of the research team is here with me. Kofi, very quickly, what did you find in this document published by the IMF? What document is it, by the way?
Well, so this is the governance diagnostic report by the IMF published this month, and it says a number of things about not just the OSP, but other, corruption, agencies that are fighting corruption. And in fact, on the OSP, this is what the report said, and quote, it says that limited amount of data relevant to performance is provided on the OSP's website, but it goes ahead to say that it is not clear from the cases cited on the website the proportion of cases which are initially considered for investigation and the proportion of these cases which are proceeded to investigation and the proportion of the cases that which proceed to prosecution. So in fact, the OSP, according to the IMF, has that list on their website talking about the number of cases that they are following. But in terms of update, they say that, well, what you find on the IMF website, that the proportion of these cases which proceed to investigations are not properly, labeled. And in fact, if you go down to the part where the fund speaks about the OSP's capacity to determine at what point to go to court, it says that there is currently no clear and consistent policy in place at the Office of the Special Prosecutor which determines when a case meets the legal evidential burdens for proceeding to charge and assessing whether it is clear or is likely to result in convictions. It says in such a policy, I said that such a policy would ensure consistency of decision making and that cases are only sent to court when they are evidentially ready. And it goes ahead to say that the OSP at the moment is not able to chase or to go after bigwigs who are currently in office. They only go after bigwigs who have left office. But those who are currently in office, it's difficult for the Office of the Special Prosecutor to go ahead and chase them when they are corruption-related, allegations.
What about the work that the OSP itself has said that they've been doing over the last few years, the monies they've saved, those they managed to retrieve. Did the IMF indicate any strong points, strengths of the OSP?
Well, the strong point that the diagnostic report makes about the OSP is the fact that if you look at the personnel in terms of having the legal power to go ahead with investigation, they have that. But they go ahead to say that the OSP lacks, dedicated personnel and equipment. It goes ahead to say that the office has adequate and legal powers to gather intelligence, investigate, and prosecute corruption-related, or criminal-related issues, but lacks sufficient resources. And the key word here, according to the IMF, is that although they have that legal acumen, they lack that sufficient resources to go ahead and do some of this things, like saving the state, amount of money that are, related to corruption, allegations.
Sami, what's your response to this? Hello, Sami Dako.
Yes.
What's your response
I can hear you. So
right
let's understand this report. So this report is actually based on the 2023 findings that the IMF did. So the 2025, as you have seen, is the full and final report. So if you look at a lot of the things the IMF have said, it has to do with the beginnings of the OSP, which is 2023. Remember that in 2023, the OSP was operating with less than 22 staff. And so when the IMF came there, we had to explain it to them. And remember that we only employ staff, full staff, in September 2023. And they were confirmed in 2024. So the IMF, when it underscores that, is also very clear, because the OSP was in its infant stages. So every statistics you are seeing is because it was in its infant stages. And then secondly, if you look at when they talk about in terms of logistics and all that, at that time, the OSP didn't have a lot of logistics. The situation is different now. And also, when you look at the IMF report and the cases they were highlighting, at that time, the OSP was also in its infant stages, and we have not done a lot more cases. But if you look currently, 33 high-profile persons standing trial, from Kenoforiata to all the people in SML, to NPA, to Northern Development Authority, to PPA. So this report does not capture all the progress that have been made in the last 2 years, because the initial data that they collected from us was purely based on the early part of the establishment of the office. So it is not surprising that Ghanaians will see that. So you need to also put it in the right perspective. But in this same report, what is interesting is that many of you in the media are not even talking about the other agencies. For us, it's good news for us, because then you see the OSP as the agency that, as the IMF themselves said, is more poised to fight corruption in Ghana than any other agency. So we are very happy about it. But you notice that they had damning reports on Yoko, they had damning reports on the Attorney General, and also on Shraj. But I noticed that has not gained any traction. But the traction is on OSP, because at the moment OSP is in the spotlight, and so it's understandable that media will focus on it. But let's understand this, Ghanaians, that the data was based on 2023, when OSP was in its infant stages, because we have moved on. For instance, now the OSP is ready with its service manual. The OSP is working on its 5-year development plan. And if you even take the other agencies, look at the UCO, had been there for almost 30 years, but it's just in the last 5 years that they even had their 5-year development plan, as well as operational code and all that. And these are matters that Kisia Jabin has been working on since 2023 till date. Some of them are being funded by GIZ, some of them by other donors and all that. If you look at the office itself, it's now that the European Union has paid fully for our forensic lab, as well as interview rooms and all that. So the office has been work in progress. Some people think that the office is set up and everything is okay, and that they should be able to deliver and all that. So once we are doing cases, we are also internally working on our processes and procedures, and those things involve money, they involve time, they involve consultation, consultancy, and that the office has been doing. So we are happy that we are seen to be the highlight of the IMF report, and we're also happy that the IMF itself acknowledges that the OSP is the best place to fight corruption in Ghana.
And Sami, very quickly, I see in the report they give us some clarity when it comes to the timelines for the collection of the data. Yes, you're right. The initial data was collected in 2023, but they also say that in they also collected data in, quote, post-mission exchanges with the authorities in 2024, which is just last year.
Yes. So you are right. They may have collected data and all that, but we will even meet the IMF, I think, first part of December. We already have received the invitation. They will come and visit us. And when they come, they will see all the progress that have been made from the early assessment that they've made. But the point to be made is that these findings were based on 2023 when OSP under Kisia Jabin was in its infant stages.
Yeah, in the interest of time, though, on a substantive matter, do you now then have what they then described as a no clear and consistent policy in place at the OSP, which determines when a case meets a legal and evidential bearings? Do you now have that policy in place?
Yes, I told you that the OSP has worked on its service manual. These are not things that you work on in 1 year or two. It sometimes takes a while, and we do it together with development partners and all that. And all these things are being done. As I told you, it's not just that. We are even done with our 5-year development plan. There are certain internal procedures that have all been done. Remember, the act establishing the office itself also gives us operational manuals and how we should go about things. So some of the things they said, we may clarify to them when they meet us again, especially when it comes to how cases are taken and all that. The USP has policies for all that, and we are able to work. So, for instance, we have about 3 ways in which somebody can submit a complaint. You can do that by calling a toll-free line, or you can do that by coming to our office directly, or you can do that by going to our website and submit report even anonymously. And all these things will be aggregated and to go through a certain process before finally a determination is made whether it falls under our jurisdiction. And this is why yesterday I noticed that there's something attributed to me making rounds. I was explaining this particular matter that people have even come to us asking us to investigate their pastors for them, and we had to eventually go back to them and tell them that it does not fall under the jurisdiction of the
OSP. Sami, thank you very much. I'm grateful that you could join us on this. Sami Dako there, he speaks for the OSP. He's a director, strategy, research, and communications at the Office of the Special Prosecutor. So live here on News 9 on Joy 99.7 FM. Right after business, the government gives its assurance yet of ending the 2 long years to ratify Ghana's first lithium project before Parliament rises for the Christmas break.
I don't see any stumbling block unless something unforeseen happens. I don't see why we should not be able to.
All things being equal,
all things because I expect that it to be
ratified.
It will be ratified. Yeah, it will be ratified. If the processes are currently ongoing and Parliament has its own timetable and schedule, as far as I know, there is no major stumbling block.
Details of that, if you live in the area affected, you want to wait and listen to that full interaction I had with the government chief spokesperson on that particular subject right after George is done with business. Hello, George.
Hi, Evans. And coming up, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiamen says the economy has been decisively turned around based on the current economic data. Ghana expected to make additional revenue of $60 million on cocoa exports after US reversed 15% tariffs on our exports to that country. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all your office essentials, Sinter's tanks and Pepsodent, Herbal and Charcoal.
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Mape. Et Mapi. French idiot. This is a midi croissant.
Meet Aja. She makes sobolo in a small shop in Kaswa. She's going places with MTN Ejumapa. Now, she's learning French kakra to teach her francophone customers indigenous recipes.
Watashi no namae wa.
Watashi no na. My boy.
Whoa. She's learning Japanese too? Watash. What? If you're a woman with a small business, join MTN at Jumapa today by dialing *5060# and enjoy 150 megabytes data, a lifestyle bundle for social media, free MTN to MTN calls every Monday, and an insurance cover. You will also gain access to expert training, discounts on digital tools, and financial support to grow the business of your dreams. Terms and conditions apply.
MTN.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office,
Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Temania Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Center Point Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
At Star Oil, we believe fuel is not just a commodity, it is a lifeline. Every cedi saved at the pump is a cedi that helps a mother send her child to school, a farmer transports food to the market, or a young entrepreneur deliver their first order. Our mission is to make fuel more accessible by offering consistently competitive prices, helping ease the financial burden on Ghanaian households. In a country where transportation costs can consume nearly a third of household income, this is not just business. It's a social responsibility. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
For many years, we've been solving Ghana's water storage problems with quality tanks. Syntex tank. You know, it is strong, it's tough, and reliable. And now, we are in to solve the #1 problem when it comes to water carriage: our pipes. With the state-of-the-art machinery, Syntex is providing very strong, tough, reliable, high quality, and durable pipes at a reasonable price. This is Syntex Pipes. With Syntex Pipes, water flows wow. I mean, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. If they carry water, no wahala. With Syntex Pipe, our water problems are solved. Syntex, are you strong? Are you tough?
Brushing gets more fun with your kids with the new Pepsodent Kids toothpaste. Give their smiles protection that lasts. Grab yours today from a store near you. This advert is FDA approved.
This year is going to be sweet. I don't just feel it, I know it, because the Luckiest Season 3 is back.
And I'm about to show you how to grab your golden ticket. Just dial *712# and follow the prompts to purchase your ticket. Or go to theluckiestafrica.com, hit community tickets, and pick your lucky number.
Or let the system do its magic. Choose how much you want to spend from 1 to 5,000 Ghana cedis. You can even buy a ticket for someone else. Be someone's hero. Payment? Easy. Mobile money in Ghana or card if you're international.
One ticket can turn 1 CD into 500 times more. That's maths we love. Or your community could win 10 times more. So let's get lucky together because luck is everywhere.
Siare malaria. Minya me for ne me so spray. Every mosquito start to run away. Oh, come on, tonton preko. Saso, me se come tonton preko. Oh, come on, tonton preko. Saso, come tonton preko. Nani sham ne die demo strongko.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama is insisting that the economy has decisively been turned around. Now, this is based on current economic data as well as favorable outlook numbers. The governor of the Bank of Ghana disclosed this at the opening of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting in Accra today. He has been given more reasons to support his claim.
The data before us is quite revealing. It paints a very different picture from where Ghana stood barely a year ago. Inflation is not only back within the target band, it has eased faster than we anticipated. The exchange rate has remained broadly stable, and the external buffers that we have is quite strong. And perhaps most encouraging, the real sector is showing signs of sustained revival. The staff briefing that we have confirms that the initial conditions for this meeting are the strongest we have had in several years.
And that is the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama. Now, Ghana is expected to make additional revenue of some $60 million on the country's cocoa exports to the U.S. market. Now, this was after the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Kojo, announced that the U.S. government has lifted 15% tariffs on cocoa exports and other agricultural commodities to the country. According to the minister, the reversal took effect on November 13, 2025. To other stories, economist Professor Peter Korte is projecting some marginal reduction in the policy rate due to the recent inflation development. Inflation has dropped to about 8% for the month of October, while policy rate currently stands at 21.5%. The Monetary Policy Committee today actually began its regular meetings to review developments in the economy. Professor Peter Korte maintains that other variables should impact this marginal reduction.
Other factors determine interest rate. For instance, the default rate. I mean, if you look at the default rate currently over 20%, if you take depositors' funds and you on-lend, you certainly have to repay the depositors, and therefore, if people default at such a high rate, that becomes a problem. So let's put in things that will ensure that when people borrow, they can invest and be profitable and are able to repay. Of course, the courts can also help us when we're able to prosecute such defaulters at a faster rate.
And Professor Peter Korte is an economist. Now, with travel prices becoming increasingly unpredictable, Adansi Travels has introduced its Smart Travel Plan for 2026. The package is designed to help Ghanaians secure early savings and protect themselves from fluctuating exchange rates. Chief Executive of Adansi Travel and Tours, Gideon Asari, has been speaking to Joy Business after the launch of the product.
Every day at the many Ghanaians really want to travel, but they get scared with the high rising costs, the exchange rate fluctuations, and the fact that sometimes planning the trip becomes a little bit pressure on them. We launched this initiative, which is a payment initiative that allows you to lock your travel plan early. And with a travel plan, you can save up to 17% discount on your travel. You also are protected by the exchange rate, because even though you pay in cedis, the exchange rate fluctuation will not affect you if you enroll yourself on a travel plan.
Chief Executive of Adanse Travels, Gideon Asari, now Shell, in partnership with Vivo Ghana, has unveiled its latest innovation in its new Shell Fuel Save, a product specially formulated to clean and protect engines for optimal performance. The launch event brought together key industry players, customers, and technical experts. The brand reaffirmed its commitment to delivering high-quality fuel to motorists. Now, speaking to Joy Business Managing Director of Vivo Ghana, Christian Leai highlighted the motivation behind the product.
Since 2007, we've been launching new product. It was then the V-Power and followed with many other developments. But today, we are unveiling the best ever fuel that was developed by Shell. So this is the new and improved Shell fuels. So there are two free fuels, right? So one of them is the V-Power. So it's the best ever performance fuel so far. And it's unmatched in the Ghanaian market and also in the world. So it gives you 100% protection.
Christian Lai is the Managing Director of Vivo Ghana. And now the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation has denied that there is a conspiracy to pay out more than $700 million of state funds to back the plan to take over assets of Springfield. In a statement issued this evening, GNPC says that there is no such conspiracy in terms of trying to move and buy the assets based on some $700 million that actually has not advised government to go ahead to do that. We'll be getting you more details on this statement later in our bulletins. And that's all for business on Newsnight.
Daniel, what's happened, sports?
Yeah, the Ghana Football Association's disciplinary committee has charged Asante Kotoko for an insightful comment on social media. The Porcupine Warriors posted a comment on their social media platform suggesting the match officials got their decision wrong after a penalty was awarded to Samatex in their Ghana Premier League match yesterday. The GFA said in a statement, the statement posed a risk of violence against match officials. The Kumasi-based club has until Wednesday to respond to the charges. Now, Kotoko ended up drawing that game goalless, their third draw in their last 4 games, leading to questions about their approach to games away from the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Head coach Abdul Karim Zito says the side enter every game with the objective to win.
I didn't come here to defend. I come here to win. It is only when you look at the situations that you apply both. Me, I never go to a club to go and defend. Even when I didn't went to Africa, I never go to defend. I play. I'll play. I'll play. But when I read the game and I see you are on top and I have to manage myself, you understand me? But this one was a balanced game.
You heard Asante Kotoko head coach Abdul Karim Zito bring an end to sports. Back to you, Vance.
Thank you very Daniel. Now tonight, government has given its strongest assurance yet that the 2-year wait to ratify the Ewoya lithium project will finally end, assuring chiefs and residents that Parliament will approve the deal before rising for the Christmas break. For 2 years, lives have been on pause. Farmers unable to expand their fields, a family stuck in half-built homes, and resettlement plans frozen. Global lithium prices have crashed, and without swift parliamentary action, the project risks losing its economic viability. Government spokesperson Felix Kwachifusu says the deal will be secured by the end of 2025. We'll hear from him shortly, but first, Emmanuel Jibunu reports on how the delay is choking the local economy and stalling 2,700 indirect jobs.
Every day at the Mankasim runabout, Abina Annan runs for survival. She chases cars with bags of fantikinki, hoping someone inside will roll down a window with a few CDs to spare.
I didn't for server brain because in Juma Bebre, but workers and I bebre.
There are many graduates here without jobs. Some completed school 4 or 5 years ago and still haven't found work. Some fall into bad company and turn to stealing or other things. But when the lithium project starts, we will all be more comfortable because we'll have jobs to do.
Abena is not searching for a job in the mine. She's searching for everything the mine brings with it. Workers, traffic, and demand. The lifeblood of informal businesses.
The direct benefits to someone like me who hawks in traffic is that some of the lithium project workers will need food and they will come and buy my fancy kinky. When that happens, my business will grow.
But for 2 years since the lease was signed, Parliament has still not ratified the project. And in communities like Mankasim, the delay is choking the local economy before it even begins. For drivers like Gideon, when Atlantic Lithium began prospecting, his taxi rarely rested. Today, he's been loading for over an hour, and still no one is coming.
It was helping the youth and we the drivers as well. So they will come, take us to our place, take us to this place. Sometimes you be at the station for about 30 minutes, 1 hour. Just look at right now, I'm loading. Nobody is in.
The Ewoya lithium project was expected to anchor at least 2,700 indirect jobs, but the delay in parliamentary approval has left those jobs suspended.
Well, we can now hear from government spokesperson Felix Kwachifosu, who assures the chiefs and residents of the affected communities that the deal will be passed by the end of 2025 before Parliament rises for the Christmas break.
Initial projections that were made under the NPP, which informed that particular agreement, were based on some projections on the world market price of lithium. So every investor that is going to put some money into a project will look at how much would accrue. It is standard, normal, fair practice. Now the price of lithium has fallen significantly over the period. So the same projections cannot hold. It affects the ability of the investors to raise the needed resources to be able to invest in the project. So if the investor is going to come, we definitely need to do something about the conditions. So we have simply said that instead of the 10% royalty, let's make it 5%, because the amount of money that will be coming in will not be enough to justify the investment if you maintain it at this. I think it is fair, it is proper, and it's the right thing to do. There are some of the varied conditions that are dependent on what happens in future. So, for instance, there's some taxation element that has been deferred pending an improvement in the world market price of lithium. Once the market price begins to increase, those commitments will be met, and some other things that have been put in there. So the NPP, as usual, has attempted to distort this and create the impression that we have gone back on some word. But nothing of the sort has happened. It is the reality of the situation, which requires some tweaking of the agreement in order that the positive aspect of the project is realized, because it will benefit the people of Mankasim and its surrounding areas. It will benefit the Ghanaian economy as a whole. And that is what we remain committed to.
Are you confident that it will be ratified before Parliament rises?
I believe so. I believe it will be ratified, along with other bills that are pending before Parliament.
So you said that you had some representation. I believe the chiefs had.
Oh yes, I mean, on a daily basis I receive, for instance, the Omain of the Abura traditional area constantly engages me on the matter. There's another chief at Yamransa who constantly engages me on the matter. Indeed, I've had visitations from them to this very office.
Oh, they've come?
Absolutely, to highlight the importance of that project to them.
So what do you tell them now?
Oh, I think that...
What do you say to them now that the thing is gone?
Listen, government is committed. Government is committed.
So for all those chiefs who have been coming here and visiting you, you can tell them that you're confident that before Parliament rises in December...
Yes, I don't see any stumbling block. Unless something unforeseen happens. I don't see why we should not be able to...
All things being equal,
all things because I expect that it will be
ratified.
It will be ratified. Yeah, it will be ratified.
And that's it for News Night tonight. My name is Evans Mensah. Enjoy the rest of your evening.